I realize I must compliment you for making me commit an enormous error.
Hitler's decision to invade the Soviet Union was his greatest gamble of the Second World War.
History is shaped by great leaders, brilliant minds, and colossal mistakes. Some blunders were so disastrous, they didn't just change one person's life, they altered the course of the entire world. From a simple miscalculation that led to one of the deadliest battles, to a careless mistake that cost billions. These are 10 dumbest mistakes that changed the world forever. Some of these will leave you shaking your head. Others will make you wonder, how different would history be if they never happened?
Listen to me, I've got you. I won't let go.
Number 1. The Titanic unsinkable? Not quite.
Well, it is a tragedy that continues to fascinate. After more than a century, the Titanic hitting an iceberg and sinking in April 1912.
In 1912, the RMS Titanic set sail as the unsinkable luxury liner. But guess what? Someone forgot to pack binoculars for the lookout crew. Yeah, you heard that right. No binoculars. This tiny mistake meant they didn't spot the iceberg until it was too late. The result? Over 1,500 lives lost, and the Titanic is now a lesson in overconfidence. And why you should always double-check your packing list.
The ship of dreams. And it was. It really was.
Number 2. NASA loses a $125 million spacecraft over a math error.
Okay, KCET Los Angeles begins our report on Mars and the space program.
Imagine spending $125 million on a high-tech spacecraft only to lose it because two teams used different measurement systems. NASA's Mars Climate Orbiter crashed because one team used metric and the other used imperial measurements. One simple math mistake, and poof. Millions of dollars disappeared into space.
For too long, the braking was too hard, and the spacecraft dipped too low into the Martian upper atmosphere.
It wasn't the spacecraft's fault, it was our fault.
Number 3. Napoleon's invasion of Russia. Winter is coming.
Despite the fact that Napoleon had just defeated Alexander I, he was offering, as it were, a partition of the world.
Napoleon thought invading Russia in the winter was a great idea. Spoiler alert, it was not. With over 600,000 soldiers, his army was completely unprepared for the brutal cold. In the end, only about 10,000 troops survived. The Russian winter won. Lesson learned? Always check the weather before making plans.
300,000 souls lived in the city. And they've all just left?
Number 4. Blockbuster says no to buying Netflix.
Blockbuster had $6 billion in revenue. They had 6,000 stores. They had 90,000 employees. So Netflix was nothing to them.
In the year 2000, a little company called Netflix asked Blockbuster if they wanted to buy them for just $50 million. Blockbuster laughed. Fast forward to today, Blockbuster is dead, and Netflix is worth over $200 billion. Ouch! Number 5. The Great Emu War, humans versus birds, and the birds won.
It's an attack. Listen, I know a way out of here.
They watch our every move. They taunt us.
Australia once went to war. With birds. No, seriously. In 1932, farmers had a problem. Emus were eating all their crops. So the government sent in soldiers with machine guns. But guess what? The emus were too fast, too smart, and just didn't care. After wasting thousands of bullets, the humans surrendered. Yes, Australia lost a war to big flightless birds.
I'm gonna kill them all.
Number 6. Kodak's digital camera rejection.
Saving them on the right film? Kodak Gold. No other film gives you truer, more consistent color, picture after picture.
Kodak actually invented the first digital camera in 1975. But instead of embracing it, they buried it because they didn't want to hurt their film business. Fast forward a few decades, and digital cameras took over, killing Kodak's dominance. The moral of the story? Don't fear innovation, embrace it.
Great milestones of their lives using Kodak cameras, but today, you could buy a share of Eastman Kodak stock for less than we once paid for a roll of Kodachrome film.
Number 7. The Trojan Horse, the worst gifter ever.
What is this? At the bottom of the sea. This is a gift.
Hey, look! A giant wooden horse from our enemies. Let's bring it inside our city. What could go wrong, right? Well, the Trojans fell for the trick, the Greeks jumped out at night, and Troy was destroyed. Classic example of thinking with your heart instead of your brain. Number 8. The Chernobyl disaster, a deadly experiment.
The shutdown system had a fatal flaw. At 1:23:40, Akimov engages AZ-5.
In 1986, Chernobyl's nuclear plant exploded because workers turned off safety systems while testing the reactor. Yep, they turned off the safety measures. The explosion was one of the worst nuclear disasters in history, causing thousands of deaths and leaving an entire city abandoned. Always read the manual, folks. Number 9. The Berlin Wall falls over a miscommunication. A simple miscommunication brought down the Berlin Wall. In 1989, an East German official accidentally announced that people could cross freely, effective immediately. The problem? That wasn't the actual plan. But by the time the government realized the mistake, thousands of people were already at the wall, so they just let it happen. Number 10. A man throws away $500 million in Bitcoin.
All the files that I believed I needed were already on my new computer. I thought that I'd taken off everything I needed.
In 2013, a man named James Howells accidentally threw away a hard drive containing 8,000 Bitcoin. Today, that's worth over $500 million. His hard drive is still somewhere in a landfill, and he's been trying to dig it up ever since. Lesson? Always back up your files, and don't throw away your fortune. So, what did we learn today? Double check your work, embrace change, and maybe don't go to war with birds. Hashtag which of these mistakes do you think was the dumbest? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more epic history fails.